At the Texas Republican Party convention this past weekend, in addition, of course, to just insulting Dan Crenshaw up and down, they also voted on a referendum to include in their party's 2023 platform, which, of course, would then make the party go to the state legislature and vote on this. They voted on a referendum to allow the state of Texas to secede from the United States and become its own sovereign country. Now, as of right now, as of me sitting here recording this, we do not know how those votes went. We do not know if it passed. We do not know if it failed. But honestly, if you ask me, that's actually irrelevant. The fact that that was even a thing that got past enough people to say, you know what, let's put it on the ballot. Let's see what happens, right? Let's just test the waters of secession. That's what the party is doing. Now, we have had plenty of nut jobs over the years call for Texas to secede from the United States, right? That is not new, and unfortunately it's not as uncommon as it should be. But for the state party to actually take it seriously enough to put it as a potential thing to be voted on for their platform, like at least some of them thought, you know what, this is a good enough idea. And you know what? First of all, I'd love to see you try it. I absolutely would love to see you try it. First and foremost, you can't. You know, laws passed after the Civil War, Supreme Court rulings after the Civil War, you can't actually do that. So, you know, there's that. But more importantly, you couldn't survive as a country. And that's what these dumbasses don't understand. Texas is not a self-sustaining state. And the few areas where you've tried to be self-sustaining, like cutting yourself off from the rest of the country, you know, like your energy grid, that's not going so well, is it? Turns out you're in actually pretty crappy state. No offense to the people who live in Texas, right? That's not your fault. Unless you voted for the people that keep doing this. But hey, the state is run by a bunch of idiots. I mean, seriously, some of the dumbest people running a state we have seen in modern history. And y'all wouldn't survive as a state, as an independent country, excuse me, if you left the United States. And that's why, honestly, like, I would love to see you try. Where are you going to get all your stuff, right? I mean, what's going to be your major trade good other than oil in a world that understands how bad it is for us to continue our reliance on oil, right? All these gas price problems, all the pollution problems. The world is trying to move past this, and the gas price, crisis is actually helping people to realize we need to move past it. So if that's going to be your only chief export, you're not going to make it as a country. Secondly, what are you going to do when you get hit with another natural disaster? I mean, you just had a massive heat wave. You had areas of the country that literally didn't have water when you had triple-digit temperatures. You know, the freak winter storms that knocked power out. Where did all the aid for that come from? It came from the federal government. When you get hurricanes, which happens pretty much every year almost, you're not going to have FEMA to come bail you out. You're not going to have your neighboring states sending their convoys from the power companies to reinstall your power lines, which I don't know if anybody's ever lived down here in the South, you know, through hurricane season. That is what happens. You know, all of us down here along the Gulf Coast, our power companies do band together. You know, if there's a storm in Alabama, you get trucks from Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, all coming in to rebuild the power lines, get everybody connected, get all that up there. And we can do that, of course, because we're not having to go into a sovereign country and deal with all of that. If Texas secedes, well, you lose all of that. And of course, all of that is on top of the fact that it's illegal for you to even try it. But hey, it's Texas, right? These are Republicans we're dealing with. They're not the brightest bunch. So I guess we just have to wait and see if they're even going to try this, or if it was just a pipe dream from some of the extremists that somehow made their way into leadership positions in that state party. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button. and help Aspen not be so grumpy.